first time he noticed her, it was just another busy morning in the city. People rushed past each other, eyes glued to phones, hearts closed off to strangers. But then he saw her walking slowly, one hand on her pregnant belly, the other gripping a worn cleaning bag. Something about her quiet struggle made him stop. He didn't know why he followed her that day. Maybe it was guilt, maybe curiosity. Or maybe it was that small voice inside him that whispered, "Pay attention, this matters." What he uncovered would change both of their lives forever. Before we begin, if stories like this move your heart, take a moment to subscribe, like, and share your thoughts in the comments. You're watching Kindness Diaries, where simple acts of kindness turn into life-changing moments. Daniel Harper was a self-made millionaire. In his early 40s, he had everything most people dreamed of: luxury cars, a glass-walled penthouse, and a company worth hundreds of millions. But lately none of it brought him peace. His days felt empty, and his nights were quiet in a way that felt heavy. That morning Daniel had left his office early, overwhelmed by another pointless board meeting. As he stepped outside, he nearly bumped into a woman in a blue cleaning uniform. She quickly apologized, even though it wasn't her fault. "It's okay," Daniel said without really looking at her. But as she walked away, he noticed her slow steps. He noticed the way she paused to catch her breath. And then he noticed her belly, clearly pregnant. She couldn't have been more than 30. Her dark hair was pulled back in a simple ponytail, her shoes worn thin at the soles. She walked with the careful determination of someone who didn't have the luxury of stopping. Daniel watched her cross the street and disappear down the block. He told himself to forget it and head home. Instead, without fully understanding why, he followed. He kept his distance, feeling strange about it. She entered a small diner, the kind most people ignored. Daniel stood outside for a moment, then went in too. He sat a few booths away and pretended to check his phone. The waitress greeted the pregnant woman warmly. "Long day already, Maria." Maria smiled tiredly. "It's only just starting." She ordered the cheapest item on the menu and asked for tap water. Daniel noticed how carefully she counted the coins from her pocket before paying. Something tightened in his chest. When Maria finished eating, she thanked the waitress and left. Daniel followed again, this time feeling less curious and more concerned. She walked nearly a mile, then stopped in front of an old apartment building with cracked steps and faded paint. Before going inside, she sat down on the steps and rested her head in her hands. Daniel hesitated. This was none of his business. He was a stranger. A rich man spying on a pregnant cleaner. How ridiculous did that sound? But then he saw her wipe away tears. "Are you okay?" he asked gently, stepping forward. Maria startled and looked up, fear flashing in her eyes. "I'm fine," she said quickly, trying to stand. "You don't look fine," Daniel said. "I'm sorry if this is strange. I noticed you earlier." Maria studied him for a moment, clearly unsure. Finally, she sighed and sat back down. "I'm just tired," she said, "that's all." Daniel introduced himself and offered to help her inside. After a long pause, she accepted. Her apartment was small and sparsely furnished. A single mattress on the floor, a tiny table, no decorations, no photos. "I'm not used to visitors," Maria said quietly. "I won't stay long," Daniel replied. "I just wanted to make sure you're okay." Something in his voice must have felt safe, because Maria finally opened up. She told him she cleaned offices during the day and hotels at night. She was 7 months pregnant. The baby's father had left when he found out. Her family lived in another country, and she sent them money whenever she could. "I don't need much," she said, resting her hand on her belly. "I just want my baby to be safe." Daniel listened in silence, feeling something shift inside him. Then Maria hesitated, her voice trembling. "There's something else," she said, "something I don't tell people." She walked to a small closet and opened it. Inside were stacks of folders, notebooks, and envelopes. "I clean offices," she said, "but sometimes people leave things behind. Documents, files." Daniel frowned slightly. "I don't steal," she quickly added, "but last year, I found something I couldn't ignore." She handed him a folder. As Daniel flipped through it, his heart began to race. It was evidence clear, detailed proof of a massive financial scam involving shell companies and fake charities. And one of the names at the center of it made his blood run cold. It was his company. "I didn't know what to do," Maria said softly. "I tried to report it, but no one listened. I was scared. I still am." Daniel sat down slowly, stunned. He had suspected corruption among his executives, but never imagined it went this deep. "You could have sold this," he said quietly. "Made a lot of money." Maria shook her head. "I just wanted the truth to come out. I want my child to grow up in a better world." In that moment, Daniel felt something he hadn't felt in years: shame. mixed with admiration. Over the next few weeks, Daniel took action. Quietly. Carefully. He hired investigators, lawyers, and auditors. The truth came out. Several top executives were arrested. Millions were returned to people who had been cheated. And Maria, Daniel made sure she never had to clean another office again unless she wanted to. He helped her get a safe apartment, paid for her medical care, set up a college fund for her baby. But more than that, he offered her a job working with his company's new ethics and compliance team. "You didn't just change my company," he told her one day. "You changed me." When Maria's baby was born, Daniel visited the hospital. He stood awkwardly by the door, holding a small stuffed bear. "His name is Daniel," Maria said with a smile. He didn't trust his voice to respond. Years later, Daniel often tells the story not about money or success, but about a moment when he chose to care. Because sometimes kindness isn't loud. Sometimes it's just noticing someone, following a quiet feeling, and choosing to help instead